Hi everyone, hope you're all okay. I'm doing fine. I'm not really sure what time it is wherever you're watching, but whatever you're doing, I hope you're having a great time. And thanks very much for coming back to see me and Warren's Team Talk. So let's hope that you're going to enjoy this one. Before we get started, can I just ask you to make sure that you click on the subscribe button for my channel, and also press the like button, and also make sure that you try and share it around to anyone who you think might be interested. That would be absolutely fantastic for me. That would be a real big help. So what I've got for you today is I've got episode 7 of the Groundhopper Diaries, and this week I'm going to tell you about what happened when I went to Hillsborough to see Arsenal play Sheffield Wednesday, and then also we're going to have a look at what happened at Rochdale when we went to see Rochdale play Maidstone United, and Rotherham United's ground when I went there to see them again playing Maidstone United, and finally Scarborough when they played Maidstone United. So I can tell you it's going to be quite an entertaining one, this one. So I hope that you enjoy it. So without further ado, let's get on with it. So let's start with the first one. Let's talk about Rochdale. Now this story is one of the most ridiculous and crazy things I've ever witnessed at a football ground. It really is. And James has come in. Hi, James. Yeah, my God, that was a laugh last night when Diesel Steve. Yes, mate, it was unbelievable. He hit several nails on the head. He absolutely destroyed Terry. It was just incredible. I loved every single minute of it. And by the way, I'm glad you're here, because while you're here, I was just wondering if you want to give me your predictions for the Premier League matches for this weekend. The first game is tonight, is Newcastle and Leeds. Either that, or you can email them to me if you want, to Warren's Team Talk at outlook.com. If you want to do that, that's absolutely fine as well. Because I've you're winning the competition at the moment. You're out in front, so I wouldn't want you to not get your predictions in this week and me not be able to count your scores. So anyway, have a think about it, and then at the end of the stream or right, okay, so you're starting to give them to me now. The first one you've got is Newcastle and Leeds. So you've got Leeds to win at Newcastle 2-0. I'm just writing this down for you. All right. Well, I don't need to because you're putting it in the chat, so that's fine. Newcastle against Leeds 2-0. So just throw them in, and I'll pick them up later. When you've also said Wolves 1, Brentford 1, Burnley 1, Arsenal 1, and Liverpool 3, Palace 1. Yeah, a mate of mine, she's going up to see Liverpool play Palace. She's a big Liverpool fan. So that'd be interesting for her. And Burnley and Arsenal, I'll be delighted if we get a point up there, but I just can't see it happening, mate. I think we're going to get turned over, to be quite honest. But I'm going to do a preview for that after I finish this stream. So come and have a chat with me about that then as well, if you want. And then you've gone for Man City 5, Southampton 0, Norwich 1, Watford 1, and Aston Villa 2, Everton 2. Well, that's interesting. You don't think you're going to beat Villa at Villa Park, no? That's interesting. And then we've got Brighton 1, Leicester 2, West Ham 1, Manchester United 2. Yeah, I think that will happen as well. And then Tottenham 1, Chelsea 3. Yeah, I think Chelsea have beat Tottenham fairly comfortably, actually, to be quite honest. So, yeah, fair play to you, mate. Thanks for putting those in. So, let's get on with this. Let's get on with this stream. So, yeah, when the day that I went to Rochdale, now I've only ever been to Rochdale once, and oh my God, what a day that was. Anyway, so we left Maidstone really early in the morning, as for most of the trips up north that we did with them. And we got up to Rochdale probably about an hour and a half, I think, before kickoff. And we found a pub, and we all piled into this pub. I even think that the pub knew that we were coming, and they made us very welcome. I remember that. James says, I think Villa will give us a good game, Warren, and our record at Villa Park isn't that great. I'd take a point tomorrow. Okay, fair enough. That makes sense. Yeah, we went up there, and I'm pretty sure that either Rochdale Football Club had arranged for us to be able to go to this pub, or it was something to do with Maidstone or something. But anyway, we were made really welcome in this pub. I remember that. And anyway, so we were in there. We had, had a good few jars and what have you. And we went off to the game. Now, just to put a bit of context into this story that I'm going to tell, that at the time, Maidstone United had sort of, this sounds mad, but they had sort of 2 first-choice goalkeepers, right? There was this guy called Nicky Johns, and the other one, you might have heard of him, was Mark Beanie. He ended up going to play for Leeds. He was a really good young goalkeeper, and most of the Maidstone United fans rated him much more than Nicky Johns. But the Maidstone United coach, manager, whatever you want to call him, kept picking Nicky Johns ahead of him. And it was a source of great frustration and resentment amongst the Maidstone United supporters. Anyway, so after having a fair old skinful in this pub in Rochdale, we managed to get into the ground, and I think you can see a picture of the ground here, and I think the end we were in was the opposite one to the one where the pitch is taken from. Anyway, during that time, it had like the old style fencing up in front of the terracing, so it was about, I don't know, I'd say good 6-7 feet high, and it sort of curved inwards towards the terrace. And there was these 2 brothers who had come to the game, and they were like twin brothers, and both of them were about 6'2", 6'3", something like that. 6'2", 6'3" tall. And I think the best way to describe them was that they were a little bit intellectually challenged, unfortunately. And they both lived at home with their mum. They both had like really greasy hair, National Health glasses and stuff. Not that there's anything wrong with any of that stuff, but they did. And they both had like sort of body warmer jackets on and things like that. Anyway, so both of them had quite a skinful. And we're in the ground, and the players come out, and Nicky Johns was playing in goal, and he had an absolute stinker of a game. I remember that. And suddenly, just for no apparent reason, Nicky Johns didn't even do anything particularly outrageous, apart from the fact that his performance weren't that great. One of these 2 brothers, and we used to call them the Dangerous Brothers, started to climb up the terrace, and we just thought he was going to stand like holding onto the terrace, leaning over, hold on to the fencing and just like lean up over the fencing and start shouting at Nicky Johns, but he didn't. He like clambered up over the fencing and then sort of jumped down, and it was a really wet rainy day, and there were like puddles all around the edge of the pitch and whatnot, and he fell backwards and landed in this big puddle. But then he sort of pulled himself up, then brushed himself down and walked on to sort of the edge of the pitch and was standing on the edge of the 6-yard box and was waving his finger and shouting something at Nicky Johns, the Maidstone United goalkeeper. And I have no idea what he was saying, but he was obviously giving the goalkeeper a lot of abuse. And Nicky Johns, to his credit, just completely ignored him. And yeah, so this fella was like waving his finger and shouting and screaming. Next thing you know, the police turned up, arrested him, and marched him off. And that was, we didn't see him for the rest of the game. And the thing was, it was bizarre because we were chatting with the local police on duty at the game, and they were all saying how happy they were that Rochdale were playing Maidstone United that day because of our reputation. The reputation that the Maidstone United fans had was really good. We never caused any trouble. We never got anyone arrested. Not until this day when this fella turned up. So this fella ends up getting arrested. We then have to wait for over an hour where the club secretary, who was one of the club supporters as well, had to go to the police station to sort of get him out and plead with the police to let him go so they could take him home. And I remember his brother was sitting in front of us going, "Oh my God, he doesn't know what he's done. Our mum's not going to allow us to go to football anymore." And these two fellas were like sort of about 36, 37, something like that. It was absolute madness. Honestly, absolute bloody madness. But yeah, so that was that. We ended up taking this all this aggro that had been caused by just this one fella, and we ended up getting back really, really late. There's always one person that cause trouble at a game. It happens everywhere. Yeah, but this bloke, mate, honestly, it's not something that normally happened at Maidstone United games. There's always a lot of banter and light-hearted joking and stuff like that, but never anything like this. It was just like he just took it to a new bloody level. It was absolutely ridiculous. Bless him. So yeah, it was, like I say, it was one of the maddest things I think I've ever seen happen at a football match. It was not just the fact that he was having a go at the goalkeeper, because obviously everyone has a go at football players now and again, but he actually clambered on the bloody pitch and was standing on the edge of the pitch, like right on the touchline, and where the touchline for the edge of the pitch starts and the corner of the 6-yard box. And he was standing there waving his finger and shouting and hollering at this fella. It was madness, absolute madness. Anyway, so let's leave Rochdale alone now. I think that's enough about Rochdale. But it was one of the funniest things I think I've ever seen. Right, so the next one was Rotherham's Millmoor ground, and this was a crazy, crazy game. It was Rotherham United against Maidstone United in the 4th division, and we went up there on the coach, and a few weeks before, there was this lad who lives in my hometown, and he came from Rotherham, and he was an absolute prat, to be want of a better word, an absolute idiot. I can't say what I really want because what the language I want to use about him, because I'll end up getting into trouble with YouTube. But he was an absolute clown, this fella. And me and my mate had gone up to the bar and to get some drinks in this pub. And he started trying it on with my mate's girlfriend. And like, she looked really uncomfortable. And we just went over to him and said, yeah, mate, I think you better calm down and go home if you know what's good for you. So, and then he was going, yeah. And like, I don't think so. I'll get all my mates from Rotherham to come down. And we said, yeah, well, we'll be playing you in a couple of weeks in a 4th division game up at Rotherham. So why don't you tell them to come and find us there then? It was bonkers. And he said, you didn't meet the Chuckle brothers there at Millmoor, did you? No, unfortunately not, mate. Unfortunately, the only Chuckle brothers was me and my mate Mick when we went to this game. Yeah, because there was me and I think my mate Steve, the one who was in the pub with me, he came up for that game as well. And it was an absolute madness. Needless to say, thank God, there was no trouble after what this fella had said and whatnot. But the game itself was a madness. It was a 3-3 draw, and it was just littered with stupid mistakes, fantastic goals, absolute bizarre refereeing decisions, absolute madness. And the ground itself weren't, as far as I remember, it weren't that great. But yeah, it was a crazy, crazy day out. I remember that though. So let's move on to the next one. See, that was Rotherham. Yeah, another one that will live long in the memory for various reasons. And then Scarborough. Yeah, Scarborough. That was another mad one. I don't know if any of you have ever been to Scarborough, but Scarborough, this was before they went into liquidation. I met a woman recently, actually, who was from Scarborough, and it wasn't until I met her that I found out they had gone into liquidation. And this was before I did my England's Most Successful Football Club series. When I found I was reading about it then as well. But their ground, I absolutely love it. It's one of the most beautiful grounds I've ever been to, just because it's like set in like really scenic area, and you're standing on the away terrace and you look back and you can like see like these hills, mountains in the distance, and it's absolutely beautiful. And the game itself, Maidstone won by 2-0. It was their first win in months and months. Because I remember that season, Maidstone really struggled at the wrong end of the table. They'd signed someone, a centre back, on loan. I think about a week or so before, because they were had so many injuries, they had to bring in someone on loan to cover the gap. And this fella played really, really well. And I actually think he scored one of the goals. But yeah, the thing about the away end as well, it was quite the terrace wasn't that big. I think it was only about 10 steps on it. And then behind, there was like a wall. And then behind that, there was some trees. And there were like people sitting in the trees, like watching the match and laughing and stuff like that. So, yeah, it was incredible. And Maidstone United had this awful away kit, right? It was purple and it had sort of sky blue tie-dye like patterns on the front of the shirt and like sky blue shorts. Similar colour actually to the t-shirt I'm wearing. Sky blue shorts and sky blue socks. It was an absolutely horrendous kit. One of the worst football kits I think I've ever seen. So yeah, the Scarborough's ground was beautiful. Like I say, I absolutely loved it. Proper old school, lower league, stroke non-league football ground, and yeah, it was great. And there was only about 100 of us went up to this game from Maidstone, but I'm really glad I made the trip because it was a really, really great stadium. So yeah, that was Scarborough. So the next one, now Sheffield Wednesday. I went to Sheffield Wednesday's Hillsborough Stadium with Arsenal to see a League Cup quarter-final clash between Arsenal and Sheffield Wednesday on the 20th of January 1988. Jesus, what a bloody day out that was. There was about, I think 5 of us went up, all Arsenal fans, and this guy who I know, Dave, he drove a car. He drove his car up there, and we got up there quite early. First thing we did when we went up there was we wanted to get something to eat. So we first of all walked past Hillsborough ground, and just down the road we found this really gorgeous fish and chip shop. And we all had fish and chips and mushy peas, and the people working in the shop thought we were absolute nutters. Anyway, so we had our fish and chips with mushy peas, and that was great. Anyway, so we had a quick look outside the ground and whatnot, and then we were walking away from the ground, and this young fella come up to us. Right, and he goes, "Oh, all right, lads, you're all right. You up here for the game?" Because he'd obviously heard us talking, and we said, "Yeah, we come to see Arsenal play Sheffield Wednesday." And this year, you got a bit of a time to wait. He said, "It's not going to kick off for a few hours." So, do you fancy going for a few beers? And we were saying, all my mates were going, "Yeah, that'd be pretty cool." He said, "Right, you see up there." And he was pointing up the road, and there was this dark alley. And he said, "You see that really dark alley?" And we said, "Yeah." He said, "You go down that dark alley, and you'll find a bar, and you'll be able to get cheap beer in there." And all my mates were going, "Yeah, that sounds really good. Thanks a lot, mate. We'll go up there." And I was going, "No, don't. No, we're not going up there." And they was going, "Well, why not?" I said, "Can you not see it's a trap? That guy is sending us up there so we can get a bloody good kick in. Don't be stupid." First of all, it was just me and my mate Dave who didn't want to go, and the other 3 did. And they started wandering off saying, "Well, if you don't want to come, that's up to you, but we're going." And then sort of about halfway up, they noticed some fellas hanging around the dark alley, like I said there would be. And they come running back, said, no, we better not go up there. And some coppers turned up, and we told them what had happened. And they went and sorted it out. But anyway, we then went on, and we found this really cool bar, not anywhere near that passageway, I'm hastened to add. And we went in this bar that was upstairs, and they had snooker tables and pool tables and all that carry on. And we stayed in there for about an hour and a half or something before the game started, and then we went off to the game. Arsenal won the game by 1-0, thanks to a goal from Nigel Winterburn, so that made us all really happy. And then after the game, we were coming out the ground, and then we were walking back towards my mate's car, and this fella pulled up in a car, and he had a couple of mates in the car with him, and he said to us, "All right, lads," this is real strong Sheffield accent, and he said to us, "What was the score then, lads?" And I thought, "Oh no, here we go. This is doing. We're like, it seems like we're destined to get a bloody good kicking." And one of my mates said, "Arsenal won 1-0," and he goes, "Yes!" And they were all Sheffield United fans, so they were absolutely delighted. And they said, "Congratulations, lad! We're really happy. We're all United fans." So they went off happy, and we went off on our way and went back home again. So yeah, that was a madness. So like on tenterhooks the whole bloody day, really. So yeah, that was our trip up to Sheffield. So quite exciting, really, one way or another. Yeah, so that's the Groundhopper Diaries for this week. Please don't forget to go and check out my mate Old School Gunner's YouTube channel. I put his link in the description. It's got a great YouTube channel with lots of Arsenal content. And also go and check out the Claude and the Bancers channel. It's getting quite heated on that channel at the moment. The two presenters don't appear to be on at the same time, and each time one of them does a stream, they're attacking the other one. So yeah, it's quite interesting, especially the stream from last night. It was absolutely hilarious. The fellow who was on last night, a guy by the name of Diesel, he tore into the other chap, and oh my God, it was hilarious. Absolute madness. So, and then we've got spoken word poetry, Jamie Hill. Bonjour, Warren, he says. Bonjour to you as well, Jamie. I hope you're well, mate. Nice to see you. And he's got, have no fear, Jamie's here. Jamie, I'm just about to finish up, mate, but I'm going to do another stream in a little while. I'm going to do a preview for the Arsenal and Burnley game. So that was probably going to be about another 10 minutes or so, something like that. So, yeah, please come in and find me there. And we can have a good chat and everything. But I hope you're okay, mate. It's lovely to see you. And Jamie's saying again, cool, see you soon. Okay, mate. I look forward to seeing you then. And James Dunlop says, cheers, Warren. See you in a bit. Yeah, I'll be there shortly, mate. Take care. And thank you very much for both of your comments. And thanks very much for coming in and supporting the channel. I really, really appreciate it. So I'm just going to close it down now. So take care, and I'll speak to you both soon.